from a drunk driver who crashed his car with a high BAC.
That is all correct, Your Honor. As far as I can tell, there was a single vehicle crash.
There was a crash also.
To a woman who ignored police orders and caused a public disturbance.
What happened that makes you think that you're guilty of disturbing the peace?
Going up the store without paying, and I ignored the order to stop. I just kept.
And everything, it was loud or was it noisy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
These cases show how Judge Simpson handles reckless behavior in his courtroom, starting with Mr. Salazar, who is facing charges for driving under the influence after crashing his car. Let's see how the judge handles this.
Court calls the case of the people versus Aaron Salazar.
David Chan, on behalf of Aaron Salazar, should be in court with you.
He is. And why aren't you? Never mind. Don't
I'm
answer.
in one row at the same time.
Right. Your name, sir? All right. As to the arraignment in this case?
We will waive formal reading. Defendant will stand mute.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea. And what would you like to do on this?
Your Honor, as to Bond, he's a resident of Ann Arbor. He has a full-time job. This is his first offense. The BAC, alleged BAC in this case, was .176. I would just ask your regular terms and conditions of bond be applied.
That is all correct, Your Honor. As far as I can tell, there was a single vehicle crash.
There was a crash also. And I'll adjourn the pretrial to 2nd or 23rd.
Yes.
For April 2nd or 23rd, Mr. Shan.
Yeah, if you can give us the 23rd, that would be the best. That's your rolling time, or will it be at 9 o'clock?
I'll set it at 9, but then you'll get a block with.
Yeah.
All right. April 23rd, 2025, 9 a.m. As to bond in this case, I'll set his bond at a $15,000 personal recognizance bond. I'll order standard conditions, including no assaultive behavior or possession of any weapons. There is also no use of any alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drugs. You understand that, sir? I will also indicate that the defendant report to Community Corrections for placement on the sober link tether. And I've signed that order now.
3 times a day, Your Honor?
Yes, it's 3 times per day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Ashley, do you
And
have
if
this
that's-
case?
I do, Mr. Shannon.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Salazar, stop out at the front counter, get your community corrections order. Since you're down here, you might want to stop over at the community. All right, thank you.
This time we have Douglas Hurd, who got into an accident but chose to leave the scene without reporting it. Instead of following the law, he drove off. Let's see how that works out for him.
Court calls the case, people versus Douglas Hurd.
Hello, Judge Murray Douglas, on behalf of Douglas Hurd, who is to my right.
All right, good morning. All right, what are we doing on this case?
Your Honor, there has been an $1,000 accident, a 90-day misdemeanor $100 fine with 0 points, contrary to 257622, and a previous plea of responsible to a failure to stop within a short clear distance yesterday. Count 1 will be dismissed, the 6 points.
So you're adding a count 2 of failure to stop at a property damage accident.
I am the 0 point, 257622.
257-622.
Yesterday, the defendant pled responsible at a formal hearing with a related ticket that was related to the same incident through his attorney. So this is part of that same agreement.
Got it. Is that a correct statement?
Yes,
counsel?
it is, Judge.
All right. And sir, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth shall help you God?
Yes.
All right. State your name for the record, please.
Douglas William Hurd Jr.
All right. Says court's understanding you're going to plead guilty to an added count 2 of failure to stop at a property damage accident, the 0 pointer.
Yes.
That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days, $500 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understanding all that, still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And you understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You had previously signed an advice of rights form, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Any question regarding any of those rights?
No.
All right. Under paragraph 5, those are your trial rights. You understand that you're giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
Yes.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes.
and also because you believe that you're indeed guilty of this offense?
Yes.
On December 19, 2024, at the location of US 23 near Washington Avenue, Pittsfield Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes.
Were you involved in an accident of some type?
Yes, I was.
What happened?
I was coming down to US 23 and I got in an accident and I stopped and made sure everybody asked me if everything was all right. They said, yeah. I had breathing problems. I just went home and because I had breathing problems and because I've been taking breathing treatments and
Okay. At the accident, you stopped briefly.
Yes, I did.
Did you provide any identifying information or other, you tried to render assistance, but did you provide identifying information or insurance information?
No, I did not.
Did you immediately report that accident to the nearest and most convenient police station?
No, I did not.
Was the total amount of damage caused in excess of $1,000?
Yes.
Counsel, have I complied with the court rule? Would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
Defense is satisfied, Judge.
Court will accept the defendant's plea to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed. Are there issues involving restitution on this, sir?
I think it's being covered by the insurance, but Mr.
Judge, as far as I know, the damages to the other vehicle were covered by insurance.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to refer the defendant to probation just for a pre-sentence investigation and possible restitution. Sentencing in this matter will be April 30th, 2025 at noon?
Yes,
Who did that?
you tried.
It doesn't matter. April 30th, 12 noon.
At noon.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Sir, if you can hold the line for a second so we can get the probation part of this. I'm going to put you into a breakout room briefly with probation intake so they can give you information, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
Now, let's see how this one goes with Mr. Assey facing charges for allowing someone who wasn't eligible to drive.
Court does call the case of the people versus John Folton. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have discussed this matter with my client. The offer extended to resolve both of these matters by Mr. Siller, which my client would be entering a plea in the case ending in 0079 to add in count 2 of allowing an ineligible person to drive. In the case ending 0240, it would be.
That is correct, Your Honor.
May I have him sworn? Sir, it is this court's understanding that you're going to plead guilty to the charge of allowing an ineligible driver to operate a motor vehicle. Is that correct? Okay, that is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail, $100 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that? Still wish to plead guilty to that charge? How do you plead?
Yes. I'm guilty.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind. All right, you signed an advice of rights form today. Is that correct? You signed an advice of rights form today. Is that correct? Any question regarding any of these rights? Look at paragraph 5. You'll see a copy on the podium. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form. You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plead? Anybody threaten you or coerce you? You're doing this voluntarily of your own free will.
Yes.
And because you believe that you're indeed guilty on the date of January 10th, 2025, at the location of Ellsworth Road in Pittsfield Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, did you have custody or control of a motor vehicle?
Yes.
All right. Did you allow someone who was otherwise ineligible, maybe yourself, to operate that motor vehicle? Yes? Counsel, have I complied with the court rule? Would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed, as well as the case ending in 0240 is also dismissed. Anything you want to say before I impose that? How long has he been in?
Your Honor, he's been in custody since February 24th. He's not expected to be released in the very near future. He's being held on an armed robbery case that's still in the PCC stage. I would ask the court to consider sentencing him to state minimums as well as time served.
So he's been in since when?
February 24th.
Fines and costs of $125, 23 days, jail, credit, 23, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls the case. People, did we find Dorsey? Well, are they gonna bring? He's over at 2. On the Dorston matter, I'll adjourn that out to April 2nd, 2025, 9.
Unlike the others, this one centers on Mr. Cyrus, who is facing charges for retail fraud while already on probation. This man knew what was at stake, but that didn't stop him.
Court calls the case. People versus Logan Cyrus.
Good morning, this is Public Defender Lauren Perry on behalf of Mr. Cyrus. Mr. Cyrus, please state your name.
Thank you.
Here we have come to resolution.
That is not your resolution of the agreement.
May I have him sworn? Sir, it is the court's understanding you're going to plead guilty to the charge of retail fraud in the 3rd degree. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs. The fine could be increased to 3 times the value of the property taken. If that's greater than $500, that would become the maximum fine. You understand that? Yeah. And still wish to plead guilty? Yeah. And to that charge, how do you plead? Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind. You signed an advice of rights form, is that correct? Yes. Any question regarding any of those rights? Please look at paragraph 5 on that form. Those are your rights, which are part of a trial. You understand by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form. You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right. Are you on probation or parole? Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plead? Nobody's promised you anything else, correct? Anybody threaten you or coerce you in any way to get you to plead? Okay. You are on probation. And were you on probation as of the date of September 2023?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. So the court does have to advise you that your entry of a plea in this case could be a violation of that probation. If it is considered a violation of that probation, that court could sentence you to the maximum allowable under that other charge. You understand that? And you still wish to plead guilty to this charge? All right. Has anybody threatened you or coerced you in any way to get you to plead? You're doing this voluntarily?
Yes.
Of your own free will? Yes. And because you believe that you're guilty of this offense?
Yes.
September 20th, 2023, at the location of 3825 Carpenter Road, that being the Meyer, what did you do on that date that makes you think that you're guilty? Some what?
Food.
Some food?
Yeah.
Okay, so you went into the store and tried to walk out with food without paying for it? All right, store was open to the public at the time?
Yes.
You didn't have anybody's permission to take that property, did you?
No.
And this food or other items that you took, this was property that was offered for sale by Meyer?
Yes.
Counsel, have I complied with the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
I knew it. What was the holdup? All right. Court will accept the defendant's plea to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed.
I would ask for immediate sentencing. He has 98 days credit.
Has he, is there any restitution?
There probably is, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm not, I double check. Sorry, I was thinking about a different case. There's about $540.
Yeah, okay. So we need a determination of restitution. So I'm going to refer to defendant to probation for a pre-sentence investigation and report. Sentencing will be 2025, 9 a.m. or as his invite indicates. I'll set his bond at a personal recognizance since it's not April 9th. Thank you.
This time we have Ms. Tomkins, also caught for retail fraud. Trying to walk away without paying and thinking you'd get away with it is wild.
Court calls case, People versus Ava Tomkins.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate with on behalf of Ms. Tomkins, who should be present via Zoom.
Ms. Tomkins, you'll need to turn on your camera and unmute.
Sorry.
There she is. Your name?
Ava Tomkins.
Thank you. All right, what are we doing?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Tomkins is going to be entering a guilty plea under HIDA in this matter, as charged.
Tomkins, can you raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State your name again for the record.
Ava Tomkins.
All right. Ma'am, it is this court's understanding that you are going to be pleading guilty to the charge of retail fraud in the 3rd degree. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs. The fine could be increased to 3 times the value of the property taken. If that's greater than $500, that would become the maximum fine. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak to you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent, not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plea?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, Your Honor.
You're doing this voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes.
And because you believe that you are indeed guilty of this offense?
Yes.
July 9th, 2024, at the location of 2000 Waters Road, Pittsfield Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, what'd you do at the Target store that makes you think that you're guilty?
I attempted to leave with products that I didn't buy. So no.
Okay, so you went into Target. Was Target open to the public at the time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Did you have anybody's permission to take those items and to try to leave without paying for them?
No.
And these items that you took, these were items that Target had offered for sale?
Yes.
Counsel, have I complied with the court rule? Would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea? Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to this charge. Defendant is referred to probation for a pre-sentence investigation and report. Sentencing in this matter will be April 30th, 2025, 12 p.m. noon, apparently. All right. Ms. Tomkins, thank you very much. Hold on the line. We're going to put you into a breakout room with probation intake so we can start the probation. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, this last case centers on Ms. Powell, who ignored police orders and caused a public disturbance.
Conflict does exist. Given the waivers, the court will consent to hear the matters. Court does call the case of the people versus Linda Powell.
That's the one with the people.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Robert. On behalf of Ms. Powell. Today's time date for pretrial.
CL 750170 with restitution of $35 being made today. Count one will be dismissed.
That's our understanding. My client signed advice to right. She knows she has a right to trial. Waive that. She's going to distribute fees by not following a commanded stop when she tried to leave the store.
You're going to put the proofs on her? I know you're trying to be, I don't know what you're trying to be. Only question I had is the $500 restitution today. Is that to the court or?
It's only $35.
$35.
Yes,
Okay. You got anything else, Mr. Powell, to say? No? All right, may I have her sworn? Ma'am, it is this court's understanding that you're going to be pleading guilty to the charge of disturbing the peace. It's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days incarceration, up to a $500 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that? Understanding that, you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
And to that charge, how do you plead? Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind. All right, you signed an advice of rights form, is that correct?
Yes.
Any questions regarding those rights?
No.
Please look at paragraph 5 on that form. Those are your rights, which are part of a trial. You understand that by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form. You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right. Are you on probation or parole? Anybody promise you anything other than what's been stated here today? Anybody threaten you or coerce you? You're doing this voluntarily of your own free will. All right, because you believe that you are indeed guilty. On the date of July 15, 2024, at the location of Home Depot, I think 3300 Carpenter Road. What happened that makes you think that you're guilty of disturbing the peace? It was loud or was it noisy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And you would admit that that disturbed the peace and repose of the area immediately surrounding you. All right, counsel, have I complied with the court rule? Would it be proper to accept this defendant? Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to count 1 is dismissed.
Judge with the court, I'll consider immediate sentence. My client does have $35 restitution.
Any objection from the people? Ma'am, is there anything you want to say before I impose sentence?
Sorry it happened.
Sentence of the court, fines and costs of $350, $35 restitution. The restitution is payable today, and I'll suspend 90 days in jail. When can you pay the $350? Tomorrow? You can pay $300. Pay that by March 20th, 2025. And the restitution is payable today. All right?
No other questions?
You're welcome.